Halftime here at Rhodes Arena as the 2016-17 MAC women's basketball season winds down. The Zips trying to grab a home win tonight against Miami. Great to have you along, everybody. Know you're enjoying the first half. 20 more minutes of basketball still to come. Michael Regai pleased to be joined by a gentleman who's been a fixture around the University of Akron for quite some time, and I say that with much admiration. Dr. Paul Levy, he is the chair of the University of Akron Psychology Department. Dr. Levy, thanks for having you with us.
It's my pleasure.
That's terrific that you've been able to stop by. Right off the top, what would you like folks to know about UA's Psychology Department that maybe sometimes gets lost in the translation?
Sure. Well, we're a pretty good-sized department. We have a lot of psychology majors. In fact, last year we graduated our largest class ever. We had 140 students walk across the stage with their bachelor's degree in psychology. We also, a lot of those students, probably about a third, go to graduate school, but most of them go out and get jobs in marketing and health services, all kinds of areas. So that it's good to see them get through the program. They do it in a timely manner. One thing we've added recently is some work on experiential work for students. So we kind of connect them where we can with agencies in the community so they can give back a little bit. Get some experience, and then we connect that to a course where they come together and they have lectures and speakers and all those sorts of things. I think the thing to remember most is that psychology is a liberal arts degree, and I'm an industrial psychologist, so psychology applied to the workplace. So when I talk to CEOs and folks in talent management, they say they need people with communication skills, critical thinking skills, problem solving, teamwork, and those are really the foundations of a psychology degree.
Sure.
So I think it works really well.
Yeah, a lot of elements to be sure. Great to be spending a couple of minutes with Dr. Paul Levy. All right, so what are your major areas of focus now? So this student comes in, wants to get his undergrad in psychology. Are there a vast amount of variables that go into that, or where do you try to define focus?
Yeah, the psychology degree is one degree, but the department has sort of three areas of emphasis. One is our industrial organizational, which is probably our strongest reputation nationally, because we've been one of the top 5 programs in graduate programs in IO for a long time. So they can sort of do some of that applied business stuff. But we also have a really good counseling program. So a lot of students come in interested in sort of the counseling clinical side. And then our third area of expertise is kind of adult development and aging. And with the aging of the baby boomers and all that sort of thing, it's become really important that we have folks who are studying functional aging and then some of the problems associated with aging. So undergrads can come in and have advanced courses by faculty in all 3 of those areas depending on their interest.
Have you found down through the years, because psychology to me fascinating to be sure as a layman, of course, do you find many athletes now are asking or inquiring about, or do you have a few athletes here at UA that major in psychology?
We actually do. I was talking to a colleague before I left, and he has one of our track runners in one of his class. We've had a lot of soccer players, quite a few soccer players. Haven't had a basketball player for a few years, but I had a basketball player a few years ago. Swimming, diving.
Sure.
Yeah, we have lots of athletes.
Yeah. All right. And lastly, Paul, what about changes on the horizon? I'm sure it's an ever-changing field.
Yeah.
What do you see here at the University of Akron that as change will occur and where you want to go?
I think a few things. We just came off of a big event, our Rethinking Race event, which is kind of a 10-year anniversary of this event. It's become kind of national, where we bring in great speakers at the university and make people think a little bit more and maybe even feel a little bit more uncomfortable as we kind of struggle with some of the issues, especially I think in the current climate.
Right.
So that was really a great experience to see that happening. Lots of community members, lots of students, faculty, and staff. I also think with President Wilson, he's really worked hard in his however many months it is now on the job.
Since July.
Yeah. He's really worked hard to sort of rebuild relationships, and he's done that with the community. He's done that with students, with faculty and staff, and he's made it clear, I think, everywhere he goes, that faculty are the backbone of this place. And in my 28 years, you mentioned how old I was earlier, in my 28 years, I've found that one constant has really been faculty's commitment to students, and I think that's really going to continue. I think with all the changes happening in higher ed, and they're happening at pretty fast rate, that we need to help students sort of navigate those changes, and we will. That's what we do. We'll help them figure out, where does the 2-year school fit into the 4-year school? Where does online learning fit in? What about the spiraling cost of tuition? I mean, there's
Sure.
lots of issues we need to
Right.
deal with, and the faculty at Akron will be there to help students navigate those so the students can get where they need to go.
And so will Dr. Paul Levy at the
Absolutely.
forefront of everything as the chair here of the Akron Psychology Department. Thanks for stopping by, Paul. Great
Absolutely.
to see you.
Thank you.
All the best.
Likewise.
Stay well.
You too.
All right, that's Paul Levy. Don't go away. When we come back, we'll give you a look at how the first half unfolded. Maybe take a peek into the second half crystal ball. All that's next as Akron and Miami get set for the second half.